Hey all, and welcome back to another episode of the King Ugly Crew. So we have myself, Case Isaiah, and then we have Skyla on tonight.
Oh, hey.
Also Baroni,
Howdy, everyone.
Lonin, if he's available.
Oh,
No,
hey, I'm here, still helping Griff.
still helping Puppy, and Griff should be jumping on later. We're still trying to figure out internet issues. But tonight is going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about our favorite national parks, or just national parks we've been to that we've really enjoyed. Or, I'm interested in the ones we don't enjoy too, to be honest. So we're going to start this off with the oldest because I'm sick of going first. So, Skyla, will you give us your? Let's just go with the most recent national park you've been to.
Ooh, the most recent.
I figured I'd switch it up a bit.
Ooh. Hang on, I'm going through the list right now.
Ooh, I
Been to
like it.
Lots of them.
Baron, are you thinking about yours too?
Most recent?
Yep, that's where I can tell you mine because I was just there last week. So.
Well, it looks like you might be going
Maybe
first,
you
Case.
should go first.
Maybe I should, because maybe that's what made me think of the question. So I guess I will go first. Mine was the Grand Canyon. And it was literally a spur of the moment trip. We're 2.5 hours away from the North Rim, and I needed to get away for the weekend. I just had to get out of town. I was so sick of being home. So me and the kids and a wifey packed up on Saturday morning and just literally hit the road. Headed on down to the North Rim. While we were at the North Rim, in the distance on the south side, it was storming, so we got to see lightning. So it was a thunderstorm going on the south side, and it was super cool. If you haven't seen that before, it is definitely a sight to see. And then on the way out, it started raining on us, and then we got to see the place where me, Dad, and Lon all wrecked our motorcycles. So that was fun.
Ooh. You all wrecked?
Yeah, all in the exact same corner.
At the same time?
At the exact same time.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, Dad went down the hardest, we talked about this on the car crash episode, but yeah, Dad went down really hard, went over an embankment, dropped about 20 feet, got knocked unconscious. I followed him directly after that, or my bike followed him over the edge. I stayed up on top, and then Lauren just laid down the Busa. But we had to get Dad's bike and my bike back up. Obviously, Dad was not doing too hot after getting his head knocked pretty good. His helmet was ruined after that, obviously. And then we had to ride back to St. George for that. So that was 2 hours. So
that sounds like lots of fun.
The trip itself was great. That incident was obviously terrible. But after about a half an hour after riding out, I started enjoying myself again. I mean, I was hurt, no doubt about it.
The pie was great.
Pie was excellent.
And so was the Navajo. Oh gosh, that lady that taught us about the Navajos. Was that one, or was that a different one?
I think it was that one. If I remember.
I'm pretty sure it was that one too. Yeah, it was really awesome because that's where I learned that Anasazi just means the enemy of my ancestors. It's not an actual tribe.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. That's awesome. Huh. But yeah, so we went through there, on Friday, on Saturday, and then we drove all the way through the 89 all the way down to Williams, Arizona. So through Flagstaff and then over to Williams and stayed there for the night, which I don't think I'll ever stay in Williams ever again. I know it's like a small little town right off of Route 66, I believe. And it's not for me. It seemed like a whole bunch of crackheads, honestly. Yeah, it was a sketchy neighborhood. So I definitely won't be staying there again. But then Sunday, we just woke up when the boys were up and rolled up to the south side. It's crazy how different the sides are. The south side definitely is more touristy, and it's because it's definitely the picturesque view of the Grand Canyon. But I personally like the north side better because it's a lot slower pace, I feel like, and the views are just totally different than what you're expecting. The boys were having a ball. Reason was climbing around all the rocks you could and just loving it. And so we were there for about 2 hours. We only hung out for a bit and then drove all the way home. So that was my most recent one.
With littles, I feel like that's about as long as you.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then plus with my foot issues, I can't be on my feet more than about 2 hours. So yeah, it stinks. But yeah, that was definitely an adventure we needed. So it was really nice getting away. But Skyla, did you figure out yours?
I think my most recent, was Carlsbad Caverns.
Oh,
no capital.
Awesome.
What?
No capital. Oh, he's
Oh,
talking to Griffy.
I was talking to Griff, and I hit the push to talk, thinking I
Oh.
have to push to talk to Griff. My
That's
bad.
awesome.
I'm like, you're right, London. Carlsbad Caverns is not the capital
Not
of
the
New
cap-
Mexico.
That's awesome. But that's where the caves are and everything, right?
Yeah, it is amazing. Like Carlsbad Caverns. So we took this huge, like 4 years ago, we took a huge road trip and did a bunch of national parks on the way to Vegas and Idaho, and a bunch of national parks on the way back. And so we got to Carlsbad Caverns, and it was kind of the last big national park we did, because by the time we got through Texas, we were like, we just want to go home. And Carlsbad Caverns it's a whole bunch of caves in New Mexico, very southern New Mexico, and it's super hot outside and super cold inside. And at the bottom of the caverns is like, I can't even remember how far you walk down. It's like 2 or 3 miles down or something like that. And
Holy crap.
well, no, like to walk, you walk 2 or 3 miles.
Oh, okay.
2 or 3 miles. It's like 800 feet down, and you're taking switchbacks and stuff, and they have paths, and when you get to the bottom, there's a restaurant.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a fancy restaurant because, they're 800 feet down, but
Right.
you can sit and have lunch and, in the cave, and then you can take an elevator up, which we did.
How
Which-
nice.
It was very nice. But the thing in Carlsbad was that the lighting, the guy who designed the lighting, and I cannot remember who it was, but the guy who designed the lighting is an artist. Like, he painted with the light. The way he has it angled, and the way, the colors are, and it adds so much to it, where if you just had big floodlights, it'd be like, yeah, okay. But the way he put the lights up, you can see the depth, and you can see, like, there's a couple of lights behind certain formations, so you can see through them. It's just,
Cool.
it's genius. I don't know if you guys, I mean, that was my second or third time there when we took the girls, but have you guys been?
Nope.
No, I've never been to that one.
I'm looking at pictures right now, and I totally see what you're talking about, though. There are so many different shades of colors. It is really cool.
I've
It
always wanted to
is
go.
Beautiful. Yeah, you need to take a trip down. It is epic. There's nothing around it, although you do have to drive through Roswell, and that is the cutest little town ever. It reminds me of Twin Falls, but with aliens.
Okay, we're going family road trip, King Louis Crew road trip.
Yeah,
down
it
to
is
Carlsbad.
very cool. And
Then
like,
we plastic.
there's
that
a
was
couple.
cutting it out.
Yeah, it was. There's a couple of places where they've left like the original rope ladders, so you can see how people would climb down, and just like some of them look like ribbon candy, some of them look like you got the stalactites and the stalagmites, and some of them are super sharp and some of them are dull, and you can see how some of them have, the stalagmite and the stalactite are now coming together, and it is epic.
That is so cool. Yeah, that's definitely going to be one on my bucket list. I love the idea of spelunking, so I'd be totally down for that.
It's pretty, I mean, it is pretty intense. Loved it. Yeah, we really enjoyed it. We got headlamps before we went, like just at Walmart, and that was really handy.
Really? Was that dark in there still?
Yeah, because the lights are not there to light your path. They're there to light the structures.
Got it. Okay. It is strictly for the art purposes.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not really light enough that you can totally see because the path is black asphalt.
It's asphalt, looks like. Well, but you could follow the guardrails, right?
But they don't have the guardrails on all the spots. And so you don't have to worry about like walking off an edge, but like if the asphalt isn't completely even, then a lot of times you're going to like stumble. And so we found the headlamps really helpful.
Awesome.
Well,
And then you got to stay for the bats.
You gotta stay for the bats.
You got to stay for the bats, because at night they all come out of one opening, and there's like thousands and thousands and thousands, and it's this whole big production. And you sit in this amphitheater, and they all fly over your head. It's so cool.
Delicious.
It is so cool.
That just sounds so interesting. Well, shoot, Lonan, what's the most recent one you've been to?
That's an excellent question.
Mount Rushmore.
No, it was probably Yosemite with Griffin Barron.
Yeah, I was been thinking this whole time, and I'm like, the most recent one I think was 2 years ago.
And also, Mount Rushmore is not a national park.
Oh, really?
I don't think. Let me look.
guys hear
It
me?
might be a national monument.
I think you're right because I've been looking through the national parks and Mount Rushmore's never come up.
Can
Well,
you hear me?
yes,
Yeah.
we got you.
You're really quiet.
Okay.
It's a national memorial,
talk
so
up.
not a park.
Ah, never would have known that.
But
learn.
Yosemite, oh my goodness. See, I've been to Yosemite 3 times.
I've
and
been once, and it
you've
was
been twice.
we had a flat tire, and it was so I missed the entire event. Oh, we've been twice, yes. But the one time I went to actually go visit Yosemite, I lost a tire, and we didn't get there until 10:00 at night.
Oh,
Yeah, because nobody had a
we had to
tire.
be back. We had a tire, but we sat at Walmart for 4 hours until they told us they couldn't get to us that day.
Oh,
that
that's
stinks.
Terrible.
Did you just be like, hey, I'll put it on.
Yeah.
Just give me your equipment.
Give me the tools real quick. I can do it.
Give me 10 minutes and I'll have it done.
Seriously, give me 10 minutes. I'll be out of your way, balancing everything.
So that wasn't a problem. The problem is that their machine was broken. They never told us that.
Ugh.
That's the.
And I'm like, well, that'd been really nice to know, because I went up to Big O, and 25 minutes later, I had a tire on the car. But that was 4 hours of waiting before we had that.
Yeah, that's aggravating.
Thank
So
you.
I think that was probably my most recent one because I don't think I've taken my kids to do anything. I mean, and then, oh yeah, that's probably the most recent. I can't
Lana,
think of
did you
another
guys go to Badlands when you went to Rushmore?
one. Like the national park, the Badlands?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Where's that at?
It's real. Like if you're coming from the east, which obviously you guys weren't, but if you're coming from the east, you kind of have to pass by it to get to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Did we
we
go to
we were in
Badlands?
Rushmore. No, we were Rushmore, and then we didn't go any further east. So
Baron, we didn't, because the girls were like, we were trying to get there in the morning. I think we stayed close by that night, or did we stay in Chicago? No, we didn't stay in Chicago.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just stopped in Chicago for lunch and then went on.
wait, no. It's close to Sturgis.
What is?
Badlands? It says. So I've probably driven. Well,
Well, clearly it wasn't memorable, so.
It's just the Badlands. That's it.
It's so cool looking though.
What is it?
It reminds me of Arizona, to be honest.
It does, but like even more dead.
No, so
Yes.
this, you know what this reminds me of? Almost
So
exactly.
What's the excitement going to this?
This reminds me of just
Painted
driving
Rock.
literally on the 70 going from just past Moab. You know where that you go down that hill. I don't know how many people have done it, but you go down that hill and all of a sudden it's like nothing, and you can tell there's water there. And at one
Yep.
point,
I know
that's
exactly what
what-
you're talking about because
that's
I
what this looks
accidentally.
like.
Yeah, it's between Green River and the 10 exit. So it is like you come over this hill and then you just see this nothingness of just like dirt. And you're like nothing can be here. And that actually that's something national park. It's another national park in Utah.
Yeah, Utah has the most national parks.
No, it doesn't.
So,
California.
are you
I was
sure?
going to say, I think California has more.
California has 8.
Maybe the
Utah
most.
has 5.
It may be the most
Ah.
amount of actual federally
Land.
owned land
Land.
That's
Yeah.
is in
possible.
Utah for national parks.
That's possible, but it's like still.
Oh.
Sequoia is still huge. I mean,
Yeah, you're
California
right. I mean,
national parks
you
are
got
still
Yosemite,
huge.
and you've got
Death
you got
Valley
some-
and Joshua and Channel Islands and Lassen Volcanic and Redwood and Sequoia. Why do we need a Redwood and a Sequoia?
they're different.
They
They're
are
different.
And also
Totally
Yosemite.
different.
I
The
haven't been to
Sequoias-
California in so long.
Are a much fatter tree, but they're shorter. The redwoods are a tall tree, but they're skinnier.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Ben knows
Yeah.
all about them trees.
Yeah, he
and
does.
the sequoias. What's cool about them is that they actually think the reason that they grow the way they grow is because the extra salt in the air. They're like, but really, we don't know.
We have
Huh.
no idea.
We have no idea, but that's our guesstimate. I like it. So Baron, Grip, and Lana will have the same most recent one then?
Kind
Yeah,
of.
I think
Actually, the
so.
most recent one I've been to is Bryce Canyon because I worked
Nope.
out there for like 3 weeks in a row.
Is that a national?
I'm looking. Bryce Canyon is.
All right. All right.
Good
Grip,
job,
you were just
Baron.
there too.
Yeah, just did Bryce Canyon too. 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's
Pretty
right.
beautiful from what I heard.
It is.
Okay,
It is.
so
It is very pretty.
It
I
was
got
a
there
very
on accident
random
one time.
trip.
Yeah, I
So
got the
we'll
same
go.
way.
It was very pretty until we got there at about right before dusk, and so we got to see none of it.
That was me.
You're
Not,
really
not
good
right
at
before
that.
dusk. It wasn't right before dusk for me. It was probably 2 hours before dusk. But we saw, like, I drove all the trails that I could drive in there, and I was like, all right, that was cool. I'm done.
Perfect.
Take
That's
a
what-
Quite-
take a
Wow.
peed on a tree. It was all good.
take a
Defacing
pee on
But
federal
looking
property.
at Bryce Canyon, like you can go and do Cedar Breaks, and it's the exact same view almost,
Yeah, it totally is.
and it's easier to get to.
Yep, and actually, it's in my opinion that Cedar Breaks view. A few of those are even more impressive.
That's funny. That is Cedar Breaks a national park then too?
Nope.
No, it's state.
It looks a lot like the Badlands.
Yeah, it does. Okay,
Dang.
so
Or at
we
least the
got
pictures I'm looking
everybody's most recent. Skyla, where are we going after that? Or who's doing it? Is it Case?
Case.
running it?
Case.
Yeah,
Case is doing it.
Lonan, you're
Hey.
missing out on everything right now.
That's because I was helping Griff, remember?
How dare you
Jeez.
help another person? How dare you?
Kids these
Well,
days.
let's talk about.
My fault. My fault.
It is all your fault, Buffy. Least favorite national monument or national park that you've been to, if you have one.
Least favorite?
Like he was like, not worth it. Not
Oh,
worth the
I know my
drive,
wife's.
not worth
I
the
have no
time.
idea for myself, but my wife's, she hated Canyonlands.
Where's that?
I don't even know what that is.
Utah.
Canyonlands is right outside of Moab.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Why was it so boring to her?
She just has no desire to look at vistas, whereas I love good vistas. And so yeah, she hated Canyonlands because that's all it is great vistas. Like, because you're
Like-
up on top of this
Like the
plateau.
operating system.
Sure. Absolutely, Griffey.
No wonder
but
she
no,
didn't like it.
You're up on top of this plateau, and you can see out everywhere,
Oh.
like a full 360 everywhere. Well, not
That's at the
I
top
guess
of the
not
mountain
360,
is-
270.
Right before you go down, right?
Well, no, you don't go down. The plateau is just that. It's a plateau. You don't go down, but you
Oh.
are allowed to ride ATVs out there.
Gotcha.
They have a whole bunch of trails and stuff.
Oh, that's fun. That would
So-
be way fun.
Well, that's cool.
Wait, is Canyonlands where the Antelope Canyon is?
Play.
Do you know what that is? What that is?
No.
Okay. If you see pictures of people in what looks like a red cave, it's probably Antelope Canyon.
Oh, it is. It is. You're absolutely right. Because they have Canyonlands was created where the Green River and the Colorado River kind of combine right in that area, and so they've got a lot of very interesting formations. And there is an antelope trail there that you have to have special permission to go on.
Yes.
And yeah,
I want to do that so bad.
It's like, I guess, a several day trail.
Oh, that'd
I
be
want
fun.
to do it. So the pictures in there are.
So,
Awesome.
I don't know. For me, I think if I had to pick one for all the ones I've been to, it'd be Bryce Canyon. Like, it was just like, and I thought I hate it, but it was just like, out of all the ones I've been to, least favorite.
For me, probably Petrified Forest.
Really? I
Because
thought
Boring.
Petrified Forest was awesome.
we didn't go super far in, and so like it was kind of we were on our way either to the Grand Canyon or from the Grand Canyon.
Was that with Barbara?
No, that was on the trip we took with the girls.
Oh, gotcha. You guys.
Yeah, so we didn't stay very long, and we didn't go super far in because it was just, oh hey, we have to pass through here, so let's stop. And it was really cold, so we didn't see a lot. And so that's probably my least favorite. The concept of it is super cool, but that's probably my least favorite.
All right, I'll give you that.
I honestly don't think I have one that comes to mind for me. I was just curious what you guys were all thinking, because all the ones I've been to, I've been racking my brain trying to think of something that was just
Well,
I haven't had
I'm
that.
looking at national parks, and guess which one is on here that really should not be?
What?
The Gateway Arch is considered a national park.
Wait, in St. Louis?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm not surprised.
That
What?
one, if you had to choose, that would be my least favorite, because why is that a national park? That's a sculpture. Like, that's something that somebody made. That wasn't created by
I
nature.
feel like that would be more a monument, like
I agree.
Mount Rushmore again. And I'm looking for it. I don't see it on here.
I'm in Wikipedia, so this could be wrong.
Probably
I'm
is.
on.
Probably American.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere on my list, but
'Kay.
I'll do another double check and see if I can find it.
Yeah, this is Wikipedia, so very good possibility that I'm wrong here.
I'm gonna agree with Lon on Bryce, but that was just because of the time of the day. Like, it probably would be really, really cool to go actually see that when it's not, pitch black.
It's
Yeah,
definitely
probably a
better.
little bit Definitely better.
Okay, so on the list from actual nationalpark.com, which I don't
It
know,
is
maybe
a
not
national park, by the way.
Which one?
The Gateway Arch.
Okay, then then this must not be correct.
I'm on the National Park Service.
Yeah, the nationalpark.com must not be related or something because it doesn't even show anything in Missouri.
I'm looking for like what they like if they have an actual list. Okay, find a park. But on the National Park Service or NPS.gov, it has the St. Louis Arch listed as a national park.
Does it have Mount Rushmore then? I'm just curious if it's there.
It's not on my list, Wikipedia. But to get the conversation continuing to go, what about most memorable parks? Like when you think of a national park, which one do you think of first?
Yosemite.
Yellowstone.
Grand Canyon.
Zion for me.
Yosemite. I see Zion's so numb to me because I've done it. We've been through it so many times. Like Yosemite still to this day is shocking, and I really didn't get to see it.
Yep. It's still to this day.
I love looking into Zion up on top when you're climbing 14 to be able to look down into Zion. Those are some of my most memorable times. That and I was proposed to my wife in Zion at the 3 lakes that are there. And I don't know, just the fact that you can go up on top and look down, and then you can go inside and look up, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, it's crazy how many different views you can get in Zion. It
is whereas
beautiful.
You go to the Grand Canyon, you can't really get that perspective without a very long day ahead of yourself.
Yeah, but you can still get it.
Oh yeah, there's many people that still do it, which is crazy to me. No, thank you. I'm not a hiker by any means.
I'm not a hiker either, but I think I would probably do that one. And the other one that I'd love to do would be the Appalachian Trail.
The whole trail?
I'd love to try it.
You have more guts than me, buddy boy.
Long walk, man.
Long walk.
Yeah, I actually not down the Appalachian Trail, but I got to hike on top of Half Dome and Full Dome in Yosemite.
Seriously?
For Scouts. Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Like we went and played in Yosemite Falls. So I spent 6 days hiking through Yosemite. It was really, really cool.
That's okay. Okay, I get that. But I think that's where I learned my hatred of hiking was in Boy Scouts. Yep.
So, according to this list, Alcatraz Island is also a national park.
Yep.
So you want to if you want to go coolest national park, I'd say Alcatraz, especially for what it was me, Dad, and I don't remember if it was Dane or Power.
Oh, Lonan, did you go?
Did I cut out?
You did.
Where did I cut out?
You, Dad.
Oh, and then it was either me, Dane, or Power. I don't remember which ones. But we actually jumped over the border that said "Don't go over this line," and then we went down and crawled into like the shop area, and there were still tools down there and other cool things.
Do you know what the statute of limitations is on that?
Nope.
That's playing with fire.
So if we all
you know what? If
if
if this happens, then whatever. I guess it was probably 25 years ago.
I think you're beyond your statute of limitations.
It was probably 20 years
ago. I can hope. But that's Dad.
But
that
I wouldn't do it again.
Dad.
I wouldn't do it again. Not that I wouldn't jump the fence again, but it's so expensive to go out there now, and you have to schedule it to go out there anymore. Like you can't just jump on a boat. You have to buy your tickets like a couple days in advance, and it's ridiculous.
That's not. It's like the whole point of it was to just be spontaneous. You know what? Let's go to Alcatraz.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking when me and Griffith
how is that
and
the whole point of
Annika
it? It's a prison.
It's so freaking cool though.
We're going to San Francisco next week, and we're going around Alcatraz, but we're not going on it.
Yeah, it's gotten way more
touristy.
Yeah, I'm sure it has.
I don't mind tourists at all.
No, it's not the tourists themselves, but like it's.
I don't mind touristy things.
I don't think it's as raw as it used to be when I went last time. From what I've heard from people, like they've tried to make it more touristy, not like here's Alcatraz.
This is Alcatraz, the prison that was meant for no one to ever escape ever.
Right, and they don't tell you about all the caves that are in there now. There's lots of of course they don't, because then the people would try and go in them. But
I wonder who would ever go where they weren't supposed to.
Why would Dad ever allow you to jump over a border and walk down into the shop? Who?
Dude, there was some cool stuff down there.
No, I totally believe it, but it's totally Dad. 100% Dad would do that.
Well, we were with the tour, and then we just backed off and then jumped.
All right, bye. That's awesome. Do you guys have who else has got crazy cool stories from a national park?
Tashi almost died at one. Skyla saved her life.
What?
I did.
Oh, that's right.
I did. Grand Canyon. I think we told that story before, but
Probably.
I'll do a quick recap. So Tashi was 4, which makes me 12, 11. Yeah. No. She was 4. Yeah, I was 12.
And probably most like Madden at this point.
Oh yeah, she was. I would say more like Huntington. She would just get mad, and so we're at the Grand Canyon. We're at the south rim of the Grand Canyon. The whole family's there, and we're doing something, and Tosh gets mad, and she crosses her arms and she starts stomping. And she's not looking where she's going because she's mad, and she ducks under a fence and is still stomping, and and the fences at the Grand Canyon are kind of there for a reason, and so I see her and I run after her.
Less than they are now. Like there's more of them now.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
There's
I
a
don't
ton.
know.
Continue.
And so she's stomping, and I see her and I run out to her, and just as she's taking her last step off the cliff, I catch her. Yeah, gives you shivers, right?
Gosh, that scares me, because I was just walking around with reason, and dude, I couldn't take if I were to let my eyes go for just a minute, I know he would have crawled under a fence or something like that. And so I could only imagine a 4-year-old stomping around being grumpy. Like,
yeah,
I could see
don't
that.
like. I don't think that leashes on kids are okay, except at the Grand Canyon.
No,
I think leashes on kids are just fine.
That's fine. Because we were under that same situation when we all went as a family. And Lana, it was your kids that we had on leashes, right?
Yeah.
And
at the Grand Canyon.
Trip, at the Grand Canyon, and that same trip where there was a kid that actually did fall off.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Fell down he was down like 35 feet. He didn't die.
Well, that's good.
But still,
he hit one that was like 10 and then fell another like 10. So like it wasn't as far a drop as it could have been, like one 35-foot drop. It was like hit, rolled. So I mean, like, don't get me wrong, the kid got hurt, but he didn't die. So
yeah, and the looks we were getting before that happened were like, how dare you have your kids on leashes? And then after that was like, oh, you guys are smart. Like,
yeah.
That's
I've
real
been
smart.
to North Rim before.
If I had taken my kids when they were little to the Grand Canyon, then yeah, there would have been some leashes.
Well, yeah, luckily sorry, Ashley had Declan and I had Reason most of the time, and so it was Lily. We both had one kid at one point, always.
Yeah.
So that's about the only way you can do it.
So poll, North Rim or South Rim?
North Rim.
North, definitely.
I like the South.
Dummy.
I like because there's more information at the South Rim.
There is more information at the South Rim. There's no doubt, because there's way more people that go to the South Rim, and so it makes sense. But the North Rim is prettier, and you're almost a mile higher.
Yes, I agree. But I like the information. I like the history and so you're looking at this, and here's what all of these things mean.
How long has it been since you were at the North Rim?
Do you remember when Sari had her surgery on her
so
toe?
like 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
So the last time I was there, it's a lot better. Now, is it as good as the South Rim? No, but it's a lot better. Lots more information than they used to have.
Yeah,
that's good.
You actually go up there, and at every single lookout, there's some kind of information there.
Oh, that's good.
Everyone we stopped at, there was some information. So definitely better. Ashley was telling me earlier about one of the craziest experiences she had. So she's from Florida, and so she went to the Everglades in 5th grade, and she saw an alligator take down a crane.
Whoa!
Yeah, like, could you imagine that, being in 5th grade, seeing an alligator take down a crane?
You're talking about the crane animal, right? Not
the
like
crane, like the bird.
Okay,
like
the ones that are like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, like, the giant bird, like an alligator ate it. Like, that's so cool. Like, talk about an experience.
But see, like, if you live in Florida, that's like a non-thing. You're just like,
oh, that's normal. Yeah. Whatever.
Okay, welcome to Florida.
We saw, so when Dad took us down there, we saw in the Everglades, we saw a bunch of gators eating stuff. I don't remember, like, for instance, what, but they were, maybe they're just snapping at something, maybe, but they were snapping at something.
We had a gator in our pond behind our house in South Carolina. So.
That's so cool.
No, it was terrifying, dude. It was terrifying.
Awesome.
Like, every time the girls went out to go in the backyard, I was like, you watch for that alligator, because he was like 10 feet, 12 feet, something like that. He was huge.
Dude, those things can book it too.
Yeah.
Like, they're faster than you'd think they'd be.
Well, and and the girls, they like to catch minnows in the pond and then, set them free. And they were just about to do that. And some kid comes up and is like, guys, there's an alligator in this pond. What are you doing? They're like, we didn't know.
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he was big because he had come over from a state park and was like, oh, hey, there's nobody around here. I think I'll settle in.
I'm a lonely alligator.
Yeah, he was no fun. And then he ate a dog, so they put him down.
Aww.
Yeah.
Stinking
The dog.
No, the alligator put the dog down.
Yes.
And then the humans took the alligator down.
Alligator down. Oh, man. Well,
I mean, he can't get used to eating food on the shore because next would have been somebody's kid, and that's a bad day.
it's circle of life, Skyla. Circle of life.
Okay, till it's your kid, dude,
No,
in
I
your
know,
neighborhood.
I'm joking.
Punk.
No, and that's the reason I don't
Punk
live
child.
in South Carolina.
Why do you think we moved? No, I'm just kidding. We didn't move because of the alligators.
Barry, do you have any crazy story?
Not
Or
really.
Okay, so I have a tip.
Nope.
Oh, Skylar's tip is probably the one I'm thinking of, and it's awesome.
Please do.
So for Yellowstone and Grand Teton, there is this app called the Gypsy app. And
It's also
for Haleakala, right?
Yeah,
No.
Haleakala, the whole
Road
Maui
to Hana.
Island. No,
Yeah.
the whole Maui Island. Plus, I bought the Road to Hana, and then I bought the Maui one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like dumb.
So it's this, well, whatever. It's this app that you download to your phone, and it's like a tour guide is sitting in the passenger seat next to you. And
Seriously? So, like, a talk
They
show?
also have it for. Yep,
Yes,
they have it
perfect.
about Zion and Bryce Canyon as
do
well.
they now?
Because that's why.
Yep.
Awesome.
That's
They
why
also-
I went there.
They also have Yosemite.
Oh,
Really?
good. Because when we go to Yosemite eventually,
Yes,
I'll
we're
just
gonna
get
have
you
to
logged into
use
my
it.
Jensen Junk Mail account. I already have it bought.
So it's this app, we found it before we went to Yosemite, and I was like, I mean, $10 to spend on an app is like,
Oh, yeah.
do I really want to spend this on an
Yeah.
app? And it
$10
was
on an
worth
app?
every penny. Every
That's-
penny.
I think it was you, Lauren. I was talking to you about that. It's funny, like we'll spend $2 on a candy bar, but $2 for an app, like it hurts us inside.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to spend $2 on an application. What is wrong with you? But friggin', give me a candy, give me a Reese's. Yeah, I'll spend $2 on it. Sure.
Oh, it looks like they're not all separate apps now, like they used to be.
Oh,
looks
really?
Looks like you install the Gypsy Guide and then pick the ones. Hopefully, it brings them over. The ones I've already bought.
Yeah,
We can
let's
hope.
hope. But
Yeah.
but you know what? I would happily pay $10 for that again. It was that good. It
Oh,
was.
Freaking Maui was
so-
awesome.
And Yellowstone and Grand Teton, like the whole time, like we made turns that we never would have done. We saw things we never would have seen because the signage isn't as good as you'd want it to be, and you don't know. Like it says, this formation. You're like, you have no idea what that is. So you're like, I'm not going to turn there. But then the gypsy guy goes, this is probably a good thing if you've got time. It's a really good thing to go check out. And it was every time.
Yeah, it's like the
Seriously,
same
so
thing
it's
on
like-
Road to Hana was the same exact way. It's like, this is a cool place, but if I were you and you don't have don't have a time, just keep driving. There's a cooler one down the road.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Dude,
it would
that's
and that's
awesome.
exactly how
So-
it'd say.
so-
It'd be like, it's a cooler one down the road, but this one's a neat one if you've got the time.
If you've got the time. Yeah. And it was just fantastic. And we learned so much and we saw so much and we were in Yellowstone, I think, for like 4 hours, and we saw almost everything.
Oh,
I mean, not almost everything, but we saw so much.
so we did the same thing with Papa Carl when we went to Yellowstone after you told us about it. And so I downloaded it, or we had, I think we gave, because they all use iPhones, I think we gave them one of our kids' phones with the app installed on it and had them run it so that they could do it too, because we had 2 different cars.
It's
That's
epic.
so cool. All right,
It
now
is
that
Yeah.
so it's
freaking
called
fantastic.
Gypsy.
The Gypsy app, yeah.
Well, now it's just Gypsy Guide. So
Gypsy Guide.
I'll let you know if it brings over the purchases or not.
But yeah, anytime you're going
It
anywhere,
does.
go check
Well,
that
then-
out first and see if you can get a
Sweet.
guide for it because it's so
Yeah,
worth
you
it.
just have to log into it when you do it, and then you download it because I'm like, I have to re-freaking download it, which I was almost to Bryce Canyon, so luckily it downloaded.
That is
Ooh,
so
lucky.
cool.
Yeah,
Dude,
it's,
it is
it's super neat.
the coolest app, bar none. Like, again, like Skylar said, even if it didn't bring him over, I would do it again.
Yeah. And the really neat thing is you don't have to, I don't know how it works, but you don't necessarily have to have service for him to still be telling you where to go.
They have some Australia ones and Canada ones now too.
It downloads.
Gosh, that is so cool. Like that. I wish I would have known about that. I think the Grand Canyon, does Grand Canyon have one, I'm assuming? Or should?
I don't know.
I'll look right now.
I'm
There's
Not
a
that I saw. They
US
have
West,
one for Moapa.
Really?
Moab.
Grand Canyon
Moab.
South Rim.
Moab, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
I wish I'd known about that.
I don't think they have. It doesn't look like they have a North Rim. They have a West Rim, Grand Canyon West Rim, but not the Grand Canyon North Rim.
That's funny because I feel like there's more better views up and like more driving.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So,
But I mean,
Interesting.
there are so many different things for them to make an app for that they've got it. I'm sure they've got a backlog.
yeah, probably. But hey, guys, speaking of apps, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at King Ugly Crew, or reach us out on our Gmail at kinguglycrew@gmail.com, or you can see our lovely faces at kinguglycrew.wordpress.com.
Nicely
Wow.
Stored.
Done. Okay, we're getting on to, all right, guys, our favorites. Our favorite, if you had to pick one for someone that was the last time they'd ever see a national park, where would they go? Skyla.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone. Why that one?
It's got so many different things. Like it's huge. First of all, it's got you're in the mountains, so you get the mountains. You've got lakes. You've got waterfalls. You've got wildlife. You've got bison and groundhogs and deer, and like my kids saw so many deer and bison. By the end of the trip, they were like, "Oh, it's another deer." Where when we were on our way to Yellowstone, they were like, oh, "It's a deer!"
That's awesome.
And by the end of it, they were like, "Oh, okay, it's another deer." I was
Another
like,
deer.
"Oh, well, all right." So that worked. You've got tons of wildlife. You've got tons of history, and then you've got all of the geothermal features. You know, you've got Old Faithful, but you've got so many other different the mud pots and the rainbow pool, hot pools, and like just it's so neat, and it's dynamic, it's constantly changing. And so yeah, Yellowstone is my winner.
All right. I mean, I forgot that Old Faithful is there, but that makes sense. Like, how cool would that be to see?
It's pretty cool.
Alrighty, Lawnon, what is your number one?
Yosemite. Still.
Same reasons?
Just the sheer. It is absolutely gorgeous just about everywhere you look when you're in Yosemite. And I think that, I mean, like in some cases majestic, in other cases you're just like, holy crap, that is one giant granite rock. So,
Yep.
like, yeah, for me, Yosemite's just breathtaking. I mean, everything about it, the waterfalls, the huge, the big piece of granite, just the river that runs through it. It's just awesome. I love it. It's definitely one of my favorites.
That is awesome. How long would you guys have to say you'd have to spend in Yosemite between you two to actually get the full grasp of it all?
I haven't been to Yosemite in so long that I could not offer any input for this.
I was there for 6 days and still didn't see everything. There's so much to see. I mean, you could probably see all the major features in 2 days.
Yeah, I would say 2 or 3 days. But Baron's probably right. There's so much there that people don't even know about. And then, like, I'm even sure, like, with this app, because I had it on when me and Griff and Baron went through, but it wasn't working correctly. And now it's not restoring either. Grr. But it is just impressive. Everything about it. I mean, you're like, if you want to see this cool waterfall, go this direction. If you want to see this, where these people are literally camping out overnight, hanging off the side of a granite wall, you can do that.
That's nuts to think about.
Yeah, like you see lanterns dotted across this whole face. It's ridiculous.
Half Dome's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There's, as funny as it is, there's actually a little bit of history with, like, we always think of Yellowstone as being our first national park. The only reason that was so was because some conflict in the California politics. They were trying to figure out water rights, and so they didn't want to make Yosemite a national park yet. Otherwise, it would have been a national park before Yellowstone was.
Oh,
That's
really?
very
Mhm.
interesting.
Because Roosevelt actually came out and saw Yellowstone, saw Yosemite, and was like, wow, this place needs to be kept pristine. So we need to stop like we need to make this national park, and that's why he actually went back and fought for the national parks, was because of Yosemite, not because of Yellowstone.
That's funny.
Do you ever listen to American History Tellers? They do a full document, a whole series on all the national parks. So.
Oh, very cool. So then, Baron, you have to agree with Yosemite? Yosemite, we'll call it.
I love Yosemite. To just be different, my option would be I love Yosemite. I've spent a lot of time there, but just have something different. I love the redwoods. I've spent a lot of time in the redwoods, so like I was on my mission there. I got to spend half my mission there. I was there for a year, and so on my P days, I would go off into the redwoods, and to see the awe-inspiring size of these trees, the largest living thing on the planet, and to just look up and not be able to see the end or see the ones that had fallen over, and they're several hundred feet long. And I've also had my most spiritual experiences out there. I mean, yes, I was on a mission, so that definitely helped with that. But it's just so peaceful. I mean, and you're surrounded by all of God's creatures, and these amazing trees.
Oh, I agree with you on that one. Beautiful. Is that the one where the beetle drives through the tree?
Yes. Actually, I drove my Mercedes through that tree. You can go on my Facebook and look at it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not drive my van through that tree.
It's not the tree that it used to be. That tree actually burnt down. Like the ones that you see from like a long time ago that were all black and white. That was an even larger tree. And it burnt down.
Well, and then there was another one in Yosemite that they had a tree you could drive through. But there is another one up in Redwood National Park. But then there's also up in Redwood National Park, I mean, it's a road that drives all the way through it. And then you got like these stupid things that they created in the 30s and 40s. Like you've got this giant statue of Paul Bunyan and Blue, his I mean, and this thing is huge. I mean, it's a very, very big sculpture. And it's just these funny little things. And it's this, you take Highway 1, which actually turns into the 101. And so it very, very pretty area. And you're right along the coast. So very, very pretty area.
That's awesome. Griffey, what's your opinion? What's your favorite?
And I really didn't get to see it, but Yosemite would still probably be my most breathtaking one that I've been through.
All right, I can agree with you. I mean, if you guys haven't been through Yosemite, that is, I mean, I think we all have to agree Yosemite is the number one to go see. Absolutely by far.
If you're going to go see national parks and you want to pick a state, go to California. California has the most impressive national parks out of any state in the union.
And the
without
most
a doubt.
varied.
Without
varied.
a doubt. I mean, you got Death Valley and then you have Yosemite. I mean, like, talk about two completely different opposites.
Got islands and there's a lot.
California has beautiful land. We'll put it that way. Beautiful lands.
And can you imagine being dad and being able to ride your motorcycle through Yosemite once a week? Like he'd tell stories how he used to do all the time. He'd wake up super early in the morning and go.
Or through the redwoods or through Sequoia.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, just so.
That's what we need to do. We need to set up a bike ride and just go explore the national parks of California.
Can I take my car, please?
I'd be all for it. And we need a chase car, Skylar, so you'd be okay.
Yeah, you can haul our junk so we don't have to.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. I love it. Let's do a King Ugly road trip. Seriously, this would be so much fun. But yeah, it would. Yosemite is definitely up there for me. I know we've been through it, and I'm now remembering some of the pictures of it. I totally remember that I can actually remember that I think is number one. I loved Antelope Island. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like it. I really enjoyed that.
Where's that?
Up in Utah.
Never heard of it.
So it's where, if you've seen Top Gear, where they go down, it's hard. Just look at Antelope Island. It's right out of Logan, I think.
Okay. I hate Logan.
Yeah, but I mean, if you take a long highway, it's a long highway out to the island, obviously. But then you get up on top of it, and you can see Salt Lake, and the views up there are it's beautiful out there. I really enjoyed it. So, but yeah, that's gotta be
okay.
Yosemite.
So did Griff say his too?
Yeah, he said Yosemite.
So what about most? Like one of the ones that's off the wall that you've been to like your Antelope Valley. Well, maybe more people have been to that than I think, but like, do you have one that, most people haven't either heard of or been to? Or can you think of one like that? Because I've got one.
What's yours? Yeah.
Craters of the Moon.
That's not a national park. It's a state park.
No, it's actually a national park. I looked it up just a second ago.
It is?
Oh, yeah, I had to look up mine too.
I think it used to be just a state park, but I just looked it up and it shows that it's a national park, and it's interesting. Let's just put it that way. I mean, like
It is.
and not just as interesting. So I went through there. My wife had never seen it, and when we went to go buy the Jeep, we went and looked at one in Idaho Falls.
Where is Crazy Moon? Sorry.
It's on
It's kind of in the middle of Idaho.
If you look at where Idaho Falls is at, and then you look at where Boise's at, and you were to drive right straight through, like you follow the road, which is what I did, and not take the freeway. It's close to Arco, but it's not in Arco. So Arco is close, ARCO. And it's just this, like you're just driving through and you just see these like lava all over and huge craters. And
It's like Hawaii.
yeah,
It's weird.
It's totally, and like gone to the point where some of these fields are no longer, they don't have any like road, or they don't have any more stone in them. They're just pumice. Like you go and it looks like sand, and you pick it up and it's pumice in your hand.
That's crazy.
And but what was cool when I took my wife through is I'd seen it with Dad, and he'd taken us up there, and I'd driven up through there one other time when I was a teenager. But when we went to go pick up our Jeep, we went through, and it had gotten the most snow that Idaho has seen in like 30 or 40 years, something like that. I mean, like Skyla, like some of those fields that are out there in the middle of nothing between Twin and Sun Valley.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. When I drove through in April, still had 7 to 8 feet of snow.
Shut up.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and
That's
you could,
crazy.
yeah, and you could see where they had been like thawing, and these I mean, like literally these fields were lakes if it was thawed. Like, I'm not kidding you, like a full-on lake for like, as big as that field was. It was just like, holy crap. So, but it was really cool because I got to see it all snowed on. And so that was interesting as well. And we got snowed on too. Like, so my wife had never seen it, but she got to see this way I've never seen it.
That's awesome. Just to see it a different way. That is way cool. Baron, do you have
I got to go there for a field trip once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like second grade.
Did
So I don't remember any of it.
I love it. But
We took the
actually,
girls in 17, I think.
It's just, I mean, it's not like the coolest park, but it's just like really an interesting little park. And it's so like odd. It's just an odd thing. And you really have to go off the beaten path to go see it. Like, it's not like off a
Yes.
freeway.
Well, that's
So
the
you
whole
have to,
point of some national parks, is to actually go there.
yeah, you have to search it out without a doubt.
That's awesome. Griffey, do you have an interesting one, or one that you just think that no one else really has gone to?
Nope.
Baroni?
I'm looking through all of them, but I mean, nothing that is not heard of, I guess.
That's fine. I just love the fact that we have the opportunity to go see these beautiful areas. That's something that Dad, I think, instilled in all of us to enjoy God's creation. And there's so many different sceneries that we can see. I mean, just the Grand Canyon to the biggest hole in the ground, really, to Yosemite to one of the tallest points. I mean, like you said, Barron Half Dome is awesome.
You know what? So I've got one, and it's not necessarily that it's not known. It's that it was actually one of the more disappointing ones for me. Mount
okay.
Rainier.
Why?
Sorry, no, I take that
disappointed?
back. It wasn't Mount Rainier. What is the freaking tallest mountain in the East Coast? Oh, what is the stupid thing called?
Shasta.
That's
Shasta?
not the east.
That's
that
not
would,
the
That would
east,
be
no.
California.
My bad.
The one that's often like
I'm
went up
sorry,
there
I
and
was
saw
thinking
it with
West Coast.
Jason and Zani.
Mount
Was it?
Washington.
That's what it is. So that's what
Yeah.
threw me off. I
In-
thought it was Mount
that's
Rainier.
in Maine, right? Yeah.
I think so. And unfortunately, when we got there, there was you couldn't see anything. The only thing that's really there to see is to go drive up the mountain.
Yeah.
And
that's, yeah.
so it was very like a letdown for me, because if that's all there was, like all these other national parks that we've had the opportunity to go to, there's so much more to see. It's not just let's drive on top of the mountain because this is the highest point on the East Coast.
Well, and that's,
Yay.
yeah, because you can't really see, because there's so many trees on the mountains in the east. And all my eastern friends, I love you, but y'all don't have mountains.
Yeah, you don't know what the heck they are.
You have molehills.
Y'all don't have mountains, even the Great Smoky Mountains, which are mountains, but you can't see anything, and they're beautiful. Like, we went camping in the Great Smoky Mountains, and they're beautiful, but the thing I missed about the West was the West has vistas that you can see for miles and miles and miles. And in the East, there are very, very few places where you can do that.
Yep, I can definitely see that. So, Skylar, being that you lived on the East Coast for longer than all of its separate Jason, what is your favorite East Coast one?
I think, and I'm looking, but I think the only East Coast one I've been to was Great Smoky Mountains. But I'm still looking.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I
Lonnie,
had little
I know.
kids.
True. Lonnie, I know you've been on the East quite a bit too when you were traveling. Do you have one that you went to? Because we've mentioned everything in the West, I feel like multiple times, but nothing on the East. Okay.
No, and I mean, no, not on the East. The farthest East one, and I think it's a church. It's Adam-on-Diamond, and I mean, that's
Where's that?
farthest in Missouri. And it is, talk about a spiritual experience Barron talks about. I mean, geez Louise. And it's just like freaking gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. But it's not a national park. I know that. The LDS Church owns it. But
Right.
that's, I think, I don't know that I've ever gone to any on the East Coast because, I mean, I was working. Other than, I mean, like, I went to the Glades. I went to the Everglades with Dad. But yeah, there's not a whole lot past that.
Is there anything down in Florida? I mean, besides Everglades, like is Key West? Or anyone in Key West a national park, or is that just a?
No, it's just an island that seceded and then rejoined the Union.
The Bay of Biscayne is, though.
Bay of Biscayne. Where's that?
Or maybe not the Bay. Hang on.
Another one that Griff will agree with on that is probably one of those.
Yeah, just Biscayne and Dry Tortugas.
Dry Tortuga.
Yeah, no, Tortugas.
That sounds like a Star Wars name.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, the Dry Tortuga.
It makes me think of Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well,
yeah,
because of
I can see that
Tortuga.
too. Yeah.
Right. But I think another one that's like highly, and that was kind of funny with Todd. You know, he told me and Griff, he's like, Haleakala's all right, but I wouldn't go do it again. And then, so we were hanging out with Todd, and Griff and Annika decided to go up there, and they come back and they're like, "You've got to go see this. This is freaking incredible."
We're talking about Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Matter of fact, if it wasn't for the fact it's not a national park, that would have been probably one of my favorite. That I could go back 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 more times. It was amazing.
Okay, so I have a weird one that's maybe not a national park. It's called a national seashore.
Wait, real quick. Haleakala is a national park. Sorry.
Yes, it is. That one is. Yes.
I did not realize it was. That one was amazing.
So
Is
that's
that your
Kirby's
favorite now?
That was the one that I had no problem going back to twice. I mean, it was an hour drive to get there. And that's why, London's like, well, do you want to go again? And me and Annika are like, yeah.
Yes, take me
Yes,
back
please. Okay, so my weird one is it's not necessarily a national park, but it's a national seashore, and it's Assateague Island.
now. Spell
And
that.
ASSATAGUE.
Oh
Assateague.
my gosh, that is a name. But
Right?
what's so cool about that?
Wild horses live on it.
Oh, okay.
So it's this tiny little island, like tiny, and you can camp on the beach, which
Okay.
we did.
Sweet.
And so during the day the horses kind of roam around and they like the marsh because they can drink water and they find food and stuff like that. But at night they go to the beach because the mosquitoes don't bother them as much if they're sleeping on the beach. And so we camped. And Auburn, she's
Yes.
all about the horses.
Nuts.
Wait, but is this in the East Coast?
Yes, this is in Maryland. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I don't know if you said that. I may not have been listening.
I don't think I did. And so we camped on the beach, and I really wanted to see the horses on the beach. And I knew that once the sun came up, they would start heading over to the marsh. And so I set my alarm for like 4:30 in the morning. And you're camping, so you don't sleep that well anyway.
No, right.
And so I got up and I was going to walk, the beach by myself, but everybody else, the whole family got up and we started walking down the beach and walked about probably about a half mile or a mile down the beach. And Mike saw them and pointed them out. And because they were like the sun hadn't come up yet. And so they were just these dark spots on the light colored sand. And so we started walking towards them, and, one of them was awake and all the rest of them were asleep. So one of them was standing watch.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was really neat. And so, we're walking up to him, and for about 25 minutes or so, it was just my family and the horse family. And it was the neatest thing. We saw the sun come up by them, behind them, over the ocean, and they're just beautiful. And they're very wary of us, but we're not the first tourists they've seen. And so they let us get pretty close. Obviously couldn't touch them, but it was like Auburn was in heaven. And it was just the neatest experience. Like these horses and the sunrise and the beach and I think it was like $20 to camp there that night. And
Sold.
yeah, done. I mean, you have to do it like months in advance because everybody wants to, but it was an experience we'll never forget. It was, and I don't think a lot of people like even know it's there, but I read a book when I was 8 or 9 called Misty of Chincoteague, and Chincoteague is the sister island of Assateague, and it's about a horse who lived on those islands, and so I knew about it. And when Auburn started to get into horses, I had her read that book, and then we were both like, we can go camp there? What?
That is so cool.
It's super cool. Super cool.
That's awesome. Well, shoot, guys, I think we've touched base on pretty much everything I wanted to hear about. You guys want to say anything else about national parks?
Road to Hana was really a cool sight to see, but to be honest with you, it was cooler at the end than it was at the beginning, in my opinion. Like by then you finally got to the pools and the big pools, but I don't know, maybe Griff thinks differently. And then I literally rented a Jeep on purpose so that I could take the whole way back, the back way, not having to run the main road.
That's fun.
Yeah, they said not to do it, but I was like, I'm in a Jeep. They can suck it.
Dude.
So it's funny, my wife's sitting here watching TikToks while we're talking about this, and I guess it picked up on our conversation because it brought up national park information for her, which is awesome.
That's so funny.
It's so funny, but apparently
or scary.
It's scary. They're always listening. Apparently, you can murder someone legally in Yellowstone in a 50-mile stretch that isn't claimed by either state or any state.
Why are we advertising this?
Sorry, I just came up, so I figured I'd mention it.
Okay.
So if you're going to kill somebody, go to that 50-mile stretch.
Right.
That's
Don't
what
kill
Case is telling
anybody.
you.
Please don't kill anybody.
Please don't kill anyone. Please just don't do that. But, there has to be a jury
no,
to
but
convict
just
you.
please don't
But there
kill
is no
anyone.
jury. There's no one that lives there.
Please
So
don't kill anyone.
don't kill anybody. Please can look it up.
Because even if it's legal in that part, doesn't mean that it's right.
Technically not legal. You just can't be tried for it. So, but yeah, sorry.
Well, if either state claims it, then how is it not legal? Because obviously there's no laws to govern it.
True that. So
It's not illegal. How about we say it that way?
It's not illegal. I love it. Guys, if you are interested in our book club, we'll be doing that in 2 weeks, which will be, what day is that, guys? Someone give me
October something.
October something. You're the
Hold
best.
October 11th looks like to me.
No, 10th.
October 10th is
10th.
when we'll be recording it.
Oh, yeah,
So-
and 11th. Yeah, Lana, you were right. Sorry.
11th or 12th coming out? Tuesday?
12th.
12th. Okay, so October 12th is when the podcast comes out for that one. If you want to read the book that we are going to be doing it on, it's called Educated by somebody. Somebody help me out here.
I'm looking it up.
Yep, she's looking. I have no clue.
Thank you. Sorry.
Please hold. I know her name is Tara.
Please
hang on.
Please hold. Please hold.
Please
but
hold.
This is actually Sarie's pick. It is a book about a girl that grew up in a very extreme LDS family, and then her kind of being educated out of that extremeness.
Well, how she... Okay, so it's by Tara Westover. Educated by Tara Westover. It's got a big giant pencil on the cover.
Awesome. Scott, can you give us a quick synopsis or a quick book where you want to talk about it?
Sure. So it's about a girl, Tara. This is a memoir. She's writing it about her life, and it's about her growing up in a very secluded, very extreme religious family. Her parents believed that the public school system was just a way for the government to brainwash your children, so they didn't allow them to go to school. They were homeschooled, and I do air quotes that you can't see. They were homeschooled, which just meant that they worked for dad, and mom taught them to read mostly. And so it's about her discovering her desire to be educated, to go to college, to gain knowledge outside the family, and her dad just and the struggles that she faced with that decision, and how her family fought against it, and how she figured out how to make it happen. That
is awesome. Yeah, I'm really excited. The last memoir I read was excellent, so I'm really excited to read this one. But yeah, Sarah will be on that episode, and then all of us, whoever reads it, will be on there. And so, do you have the opportunity to download it? It's how long, Skyla, if you listen to it?
About 10 hours.
but not too bad, about normal. So about 400 pages, 350 to 400 pages, I think. So not too bad. Definitely can kill it in 2 weeks. So give that one, guys, a listen if you're interested. And then next week we're talking about The Gambler. We just went on, so that will be also another fun one for me. All the younger generation. Sorry, Lon and Griff, me and Baron. And
So
I
the
think
younger generation plus me.
plus
Plus
Lon.
the old man.
Yep. And then
The Cedar
I think the Cedar join our group. But I think Skylar's going to jump on and narrate for us, moderate.
It was an adventure. I don't know what you're talking about.
It was
awesome.
that. Foreshadowing
yeah.
much.
Yeah, I'm gonna moderate that one just so that those people who are not up on gambler car engine lingo can have it. I can be
Actually
like,
enjoy
yo,
it.
what was that in English? Thanks so much.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Car
So-
broke. Bad.
Thanks, Chris.
Car
Give us
towed
away.
downhill.
Y'all.
Fun.
Okay, calm
Okay,
down.
English, not dumb.
Push car with front.
Push car.
Caveman.
All right. On
Make
that
go
note,
fast.
On that note, guys, we'll catch you next week. King Ugly Crew.
Stay
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 ugly.
ugly.
Ugly
Griffy, I
people.
love it. Griffy, I love it.